I called up one of my friends and I was like, "Hey man, I need a favor, and you're absolutely going to hate it." But he came through for me. And so when she shows up, her friend is this like very tall man, and it's like
She brings a dude to the date.
yeah, and so it's like
Ooh,
it's I was like, well, okay, that's
a
a bit.
straight man.
I'll get there.
Okay.
I'll get there.
Welcome to Help Me, I'm Single. I am matchmaker and dating coach Blaine Anderson, and we are here to help brave and occasionally incompetent singles figure out their dating lives. Today's episode is for you if you have ever felt like a unique quality you have has held you back dating. Today's guest, Stephan, discusses what that quality is for him, and we give him tips on how to overcome it and make it his superpower instead of feeling self-conscious about it. We also talk about the benefits of specific and genuine compliments, and Stephan teaches TATIANA Frank, our hilarious and very genuine co-host, a few country swing dance moves. Let's get into it. Stephan, TATIANA, thank you for being here. Stephan, introduce yourself.
All right. So my name is Stephan. As was said, I am 27. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia, right by DC, and I work for this small magazine called The American Spectator. I do like fundraising and tech stuff for them. I write sometimes as well, and I'm happy to be here.
Yay, thank you for coming. Thank you for traveling here with us to us. Tell us about why you're here. What are you struggling with in your dating life that we're going to help you with today?
Oh, I don't know. How much time do you have?
We've got an hour.
Yes.
Actually, specifically.
Well, okay, fair. So I suppose for some background, I basically had no dating life up until about 1 year ago. I was kind of on the apps, but it's I occasionally got matches and sometimes first dates, but it's that's really it. It's really only been this year that I've actually started taking it seriously. And I think for the longest time I just struggled with interacting with people, I guess. And I think there are a few reasons for that. I think I'm a naturally introverted person, and so I think learning to be more social was something that I actually had to work at. And I think that's certainly improved, though not, although perhaps not, although perhaps not where it should be. Also something, as you guys have probably noticed, I have a speech thing. It's called a stutter. It's not, I can usually carry on a conversation fine, but people notice. Mm-hmm. And I notice that they notice. And it's hard not to be insecure about that.
Yeah.
I guess. So that's certainly something I've had to work with as well. But I have started meeting people. I have started getting more first dates. I think what the challenge now is finding something that sticks. And I suppose I'm not exactly sure what the impediment there is. If it's if I'm not meeting the right people, or if I'm not or if I'm not doing the right things who turn first dates into second dates, third dates.
Got
etc.
it. Got it. Okay, so what I hear you saying is right now you're at a point where you want to lean more into your dating life, but historically you haven't met a lot of people. You've been more shy and maybe introverted, in part because of your speech impediment, which makes you sometimes feel insecure or not as confident as you might otherwise. And so you're not sure right now is are you not meeting the right people? Is it the top of funnel or is it down funnel from there? And you're maybe not doing the right things on dates to turn them into second, third dates and relationships.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. That totally makes sense. And I think TATIANA and I are equipped to speak to some of these things.
Oh my God, you're going to be plowing through puss when we're done with you. I don't know if I can say that. But no, some of my best friends have stutters, or one of my friends has Tourette's. I'm a comedian. All my friends are comedians. And let's just say they do really well in the ladies department. And I think part of it is because they found their passion. So like the speech impediment thing is like almost like a unique part of their personality that draws
They
people
lean in.
Yeah. And it's like, and it makes them unique. Like, you know, if I mention a person, like they remember who that person is. And I don't know, I feel like, I mean, I don't want to like preach about it because like, I don't know what it's like. So I don't want to be like, that's your superpower. But I guess it's cool that I know like several people in that scenario, and like the people they're dating are like both really cool and also really attractive. So I don't know.
This is good news for Stephan.
Yeah, I gotta put you guys in a group chat.
How does that make you feel hearing that?
I mean, I suppose it makes a certain amount of sense. I mean, I suppose I do stand out in that regard.
Yeah. I think it's also, let's talk about that first since we're already on this topic. I think how you, like I said, lean into it can take you a really long way. Whereas, I don't know what you were doing previously. I think, I know you've worked with one of the coaches on my team actually, so I will mention that. I think she mentioned that previously you maybe didn't talk about it. So like you went on dates. Is that accurate, and didn't bring it up?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, obviously you don't want to sound insecure about it, but
Yeah.
like, you also don't want to be like insincere at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in anything that is going to, like, a woman might have questions about on a date or that she's going to notice. You're better off getting ahead of it, because then it gives her the opportunity to know it's not like a big deal to you. If you don't say anything about it, then she's like kind of left wondering like, is he trying to pretend like he doesn't have a stutter? Is he uncomfortable with it? Like, can we, like, where if you disarm it by, and I'm not saying like always be joking about it or like keep bringing it up and be like super self-deprecating, but like just calling it out in advance. It's like, hey, like kind of like how you did here. It's like, you probably noticed I have a bit of a stutter. And then Tatiana's gonna tell you a funny joke to say after that about it. Like saying something that's disarming. I'm not sure exactly what it is. We can workshop something for you.
Maybe I can bring her along with me.
Yeah.
Make things easier.
Yeah, your joke interpreter. I mean, I can steal my friends' jokes, which I know, like my friend Benny, he has Tourette's, and during a set, he'll interrupt himself and he'll be like, I'm my own heckler. And people love that, because he's like interrupting himself. I know Drew Lynch, I think he's a really popular, talented comedian with a stutter.
Yeah.
So it's just, I would say steal their jokes. As long as you're not saying them on stage, I think it's okay.
Yeah, totally. I know because Drew Lynch talks about that a lot in his speech impediment. So like, I would definitely watch some of his stand-up. And again, yeah, like you said, it's like you can lean on it, and then you can even call it out. I'd be like, yeah, I stole that from another comedian with a stutter, but I do my best here, something like that. Like you can even say that. How do you feel like it's been interpreted on dates thus far?
I don't really have a great mental model for how people feel about it. I mean, I know personally I find it very hard to, listen to recordings of me speaking. I can almost guarantee you I will not be, listening to his podcast, for example.
I think
That's
everyone
just,
feels that
terrible
way
for
for
me.
what it's worth. Like,
Okay,
I'm more
fair.
used to it now, but like when I first started recording myself and being on video, I was like, oh my God, my voice is like nails on a chalkboard. And I don't know, some people still say that in the comments.
Absolutely. I have to listen to my comedy all the time, and I'm like, ugh, I can't stand her. But I think usually it's funny because we always think that the things that matter on dates are what we say, but the biggest complaint that people have on dates is actually that the other person wasn't listening enough. So it's not even, I think that's the biggest takeaway is like, you're probably a really good listener because you care about other people listening when you speak.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So I would more focus on the other person and less on like, because I know sometimes for myself, I'll say something and then I'll be in my head like, oh, that was so stupid. And then I'm not listening to them. I'm analyzing myself, and I'm not really present connecting with them. And I think that's the most important thing is like connection. It's less about like what our strengths and weaknesses are, because we all have strengths and weaknesses. And I think if anything, I mean, if you're dating women, if you're straight, I know women, like, we kind of love when someone has a thing and we get to be their like person in their corner, you know? Like, I think it's endearing and we're very nurturing in that way when someone has like, I don't know, like it could be anything, but it's just like, oh, like it makes us more like, it melts our heart.
Yeah, well, being vulnerable and open is just huge, because I think that translates into confidence. Like if you are able to be vulnerable and open and like, hey, this is something that I deal with. It's like not a big deal to me, but like FYI, and then you move on with the date and you're a great listener and you are confident, and you don't let that hold you back. I actually think that's like how it can be your superpower, where it's like, damn, like he doesn't even let that phase him, and like he is such a good listener and like really present. And if you're doing all the other stuff right, which like frankly most guys aren't, then you're gonna come out ahead.
Yeah, the bar is low. It's I don't know.
Are you single?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you hear the stories.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on bad dates, and I've also probably been a bad date, and I've learned a lot. And I think that's the biggest thing is learning. First dates are so stressful, and it's because we're worried about how we're coming across. And then once I started to like try to reset my brain of like, stop thinking about how I'm coming across, actually try to like almost interview the person in the sense of like, treat it like you're on a podcast and you're like, this is the most interesting person in the world.
Yeah.
And I have to get to know them.
Yeah.
If you treat it like that, every person's going to leave that day and be like, I really like that.
Yeah.
People just want to talk about themselves and feel like special.
The best way to be interesting is to be interested on dates. Yeah. Like if you go in and you treat it like, I want to know about you and your desires and your interests and what makes you tick, the stutter is not going to be like the thing that she comes out thinking. It's going to be like, wow, he was so thoughtful. He asked such good questions. But yeah, first and foremost, like with anything, like you have to truly believe it's not an issue, because if you do, then like that's going to also come out in like your underlying vibe. So that's an important piece of this.
I have a question.
How would it were so simple?
Yeah. I know. We're like, oh, just like don't care. What's the most recent date you've ever been on?
Like I went to this social networking thing. There was a dance lesson, and it was like a social dancing afterwards. And I was there with like a female friend of mine, and he was like, you should ask, that girl to, dance. And I was like, yeah, I probably should, but I'm not going to. And then she was like, well, I'm going to ask her for you if you don't. And so I was like, well, okay, suppose I have to now. And we did, and it went pretty well. And I just straight up asked her afterwards, I'd like to, buy you dinner sometime. And like, she kind of just looked like stunned, for like 5 seconds, but she, got on board. And so that, ended up working out. And
That's great. I love that you asked somebody in real life to go to dinner and she said yes.
Yes. I mean, I found like a sort of central spot, because she lived all the way out in like Winchester, which is like 2 hours.
Oh wow.
From DC. Like I found somewhere that was like a midpoint. And we had dinner, and I thought it was going pretty good. But at the end, she was like, Stephen, this has been great. I mean, you've been a real gentleman, but I'm not feeling that we're compatible. And she just got up and like walked out. And I was like, oh man, okay.
Wow. Well, in some ways, at least she just was straight up and told you. Like, I kind of
Yeah,
admire
yeah.
that. But it was at the end of the date, right?
Yeah.
Were you not? Did you sense that you weren't compatible? Were there was there value misalignment?
I don't know. I think I mean, she did ask about our religion at one point, and I think I might not have given a satisfactory answer there.
Okay.
So
Was
like,
she religious?
yes.
Okay.
So like, I suspect that was probably it, but it's like I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean that's just who you are. So maybe
Yeah.
you aren't compatible there. If she wants like a fellow Christian or some, whatever her, whatever her religion was, and and you're not that, then like,
If you're going
Yeah.
to hell and she's going to heaven, it's like not going to work
yeah,
out.
where
I
would you
guess.
see each other?
Yeah. I'm also going to hell, so don't worry. I'm there with you.
So I think that's that's still could be a great date. Like it was still good practice. It sounds like you planned a good date. You asked a woman out in person. Like that's great. Props for that.
Yeah. I mean, it
He's
it
like,
is-
I didn't get laid. We didn't get a second
no.
date.
No, that's not it. I mean, so something that you say a lot is that like you'll give the recipe, but we got to make the but
I'll give you the
have to
recipe.
make
You've
the
got to make the
Yes.
cookies. Yep.
Yes. And that obviously makes lots of sense, but I think what for me has been the sort of impediment is that, I mean, let's say that I want chocolate. Let's say I want chocolate chip cookies. I mean, I really like those.
Me too.
I can make them and I will have them. And the thing is, people don't work like that. That is not how people work. And so I suppose what I've just kind of struggled to deal with is that you can do it. Is that you can do everything perfectly, and I very often don't. But you can do everything perfectly and still have it like fail miserably.
But here's the thing. You can't just bake the cookies once. You can't just go on one date.
Yes.
Like you have to do everything. You don't have to do everything perfectly, but you have to do the right things, at least enough of the right things, over and over
Right.
and over and over again. Because most people you're not going to be compatible with. Either because you have complete value misalignment, or because you're not attracted to her, or because she's not attracted to you. It's like a very small overlap of like,
Right.
oh, we both see this could work, and we have all of like the values and commonalities and interests that are gonna like make this an actual relationship. And it's like the timing is right. Like that's hard.
It's basically magic. I
Yeah.
feel like that's why there's so many romantic movies, because it's kind of a miracle that you find someone in this world that you're like a kindred spirit with. And so when it happens, you're like, this is so rare. So the fact that you're going through the motions and going on all these dates and why it hasn't happened yet, that's really normal, because to find your kindred spirit, there's someone special out there that is just like you or perfectly complements you, and you'll find them. And when you do, you'll be like, I can't believe I found this person, because what are the chances?
And I think everyone expects things to happen instantly now because everything else in our life happens instantly. You literally order your groceries, anything you want, and they show up at your door like within an hour. Any food. You can watch anything on the TV. You can look up anything, and you can't just order a girlfriend by swiping on Hinge. Like it's not how it works. So it's a lot more work. It's a lot more sticking with it. And then and there's like, obviously you have to be doing the right stuff as well. So it's a combination of like learning the right stuff to do and then doing it and sticking with it, iterating what works for you, what doesn't work for you in order to find the right person. So it's totally normal to feel frustrated and like, oh, why hasn't it worked yet? But like one date's not enough.
Yes.
I'd be going on a lot of dates. So how else are you meeting women? I love that you met this woman at a dance. Are you mostly meeting women in person, or do you also use the apps?
I use the apps as well. I haven't met too many people off of them. I mean, in the last year, maybe I've had I don't know, like 2 dates off the apps.
Okay.
So like it's certainly more in person, I'd say.
Okay, but that's great. Apps aren't reliable for a lot of people, and
I was gonna say, do you have hobbies? Because I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
do.
such a great way. I have a show where I interview different people every episode, and the last one was about people that do armored combat, like knights in armor.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I went to interview them. I'm like, I didn't even know people were doing this. And they're like, we didn't either. We just went to the park and saw people fighting in armor, and we got into the sport. And now we've made so many friends or met like dating interests because when you do something you're really like a niche thing you're interested in or passionate about, where you can be yourself and you're not thinking about how you're coming across, you meet other people like you, first of all, and people can see your genuine self. So that was something
so true.
they were all telling me. They're like, I've made like, it was really touching. One person was like, honestly, like I was such an outcast, and then I found this sport, and now my birthday's coming up, and I'm worried there's gonna be too many people to come into my birthday party. And I was like, that's the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, about I preach that hard. Build community to meet like-minded people. What are some of your hobbies?
Well, actually, one this year is country swing dancing.
Ooh.
That's so cool.
And I think that's like really helped me. Be more social because like you kind of need to, else it's just else
You just
that's like
stand there?
yes, stand there look like you're just standing there looking like an idiot.
Can you show us a
Which
move?
is
Like a basic.
Yeah, teach us. a
I
move.
love dance. I've done some line dancing, but I've never seen country swing. Is that it's like is swing dancing from like the 60s or something like that? Is it like that kind of swing dancing?
Are you like flipping girls around?
Because that's
I've
hot.
not done
Yeah.
If you could flip me right now, kiss on the cheek, maybe, just because I have a boyfriend, but he'll forgive it.
I draw. Sorry,
It's okay. Take your time.
I draw the line at dips. Sad to say.
Okay.
You got to look out for your hips and knees. You gotta.
Okay, but like, do people flip people around? Is that something you aspire to do?
Not where I do it anyway.
Okay.
I mean,
Can you show us a basic like
Yeah.
two-step, easy, no pressure,
Yeah, right here. In
and
the
now
middle.
you could.
you guys are really gonna make me do this, aren't
Yeah,
you?
yeah. You might as well. We're already here.
Okay.
Tatiana's gonna be your partner.
Okay. So let me see if I can just do this on the spot. Okay. So, what you're going to do is just swing like that. And then,
Ooh.
yeah. And basically,
go back? Okay.
I don't know, I'll show you. So, and I might be screwing up the footwork there. But that's basically.
You were so confident with, and you were guiding my hand like firmly but gently.
We love the leading.
I was okay. A little warmer now. The room is a little foggier. That's yours. That was
like
awesome.
it's
Thank
like
you.
it's a very it's a very useful skill to have. It like helps you meet people.
Totally.
And also, it's not verbal, so helpful for me.
I love that. That's like really endearing. You're going after a hobby that allows you to showcase a skill set that you have, and you don't have to rely on
Words.
the verbal part.
I relate to that too, because I'm also I feel like you're very analytical, and I'm very analytical, and I get so in my head. So I actually take dance class once a week, not because I'm good at it, just because it's something to get me in my body
I love that.
and out of my head. I do Jamaican dance hall, very random,
Whoa.
very fun. But when I do that, I'm like, oh wow, I'm like, I'm not in my head, I'm just moving. I'm like, is this how other people feel all the time when they're moving through the world? So I really relate to you. I'm also a big thinker, and I think dating can be like dancing. It's like, get out of my head, be here in my body, and just listen and flow.
Yeah, and what you said before, I think so many people go on dates and they're so focused on how they are presenting and getting in their head about that. Like, did I say the right thing? Like, how do I look? Does this person like me? When instead they should just be focusing on like, okay, can we have fun? Can I make this person smile? And like, can I see if I like them?
Right.
That's an important thing on dates. Okay, so you're meeting people. Have you met any women and gone on dates through dance yet?
The one I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
I
mean,
feel
it's,
like
like,
if you
tough,
just
right?
like
Because,
become
like,
great at dance, I'm so sorry I interrupted you.
oh, no,
If
it's
you
fine.
just become great, like if you just lean in, like take it, get past the dip, be swinging girls over your head, like you will have infinity dates. Like it is so attractive
Yeah.
to be able to be a good dancer, and it also like signals you're good at other things. I feel like, and like women are like,
You know what they
okay,
say about good dancers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in America, it's really like I feel like in other countries men dance more. In here, like guys don't dance, and it's so
Yeah.
if you do, you're already
Go to a wedding and spin a girl around on the dance floor, like you'll be getting married next.
and you know you're describing these things about being nervous on dates, being in your head. It's like we might seem chill on the outside. We're also freaking out inside too. So you're not alone.
Maybe even more so.
Yeah.
Okay, so how else do you meet women besides country swing?
I mean, like, I suppose, like, normal, networking stuff. But I mean, especially in my field, that's like more male, I'd say. But like it does happen. So it's mainly those two.
And you became, I have a note here that you became a writer for a specific reason.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I really, I'm enjoying it. I mean, because I mean, I feel like I have, I have something to, say, and that, I mean, I mean, when you write, I mean, everyone's on like a level playing field. So it's like, I mean, like with, I mean, the dance thing, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so you can communicate your feelings better.
Yes, basically.
Yeah, do you write love letters to girls? I feel like you have the ultimate,
I never thought of
like,
that.
write girls love letters. Have you had a girlfriend before?
Not really.
Okay.
There was one person, well, actually, I suppose two people that kind of had that were like up there, but like that specific label was not placed on it, so to speak.
Got it. Okay.
Situationship.
Kind of.
Okay.
When were they? Was that like long ago in college?
There was one in college, and there was one earlier this year, actually.
What stopped you guys from going to the next step?
Well, the main problem with the one earlier this year was that he lived in Indiana, so that was kind of a.
How did you meet
big
her then?
I met her at like a inauguration party thing in like January, and so she was just in town for that, so just kind of worked. Actually, it was funny. She had like written this like whole like fantasy story, and I was like, well, hey, I'm a writer. I'd love to read it and you give feedback, and we like scheduled a Zoom call, and it just kind of started from there.
So did you ever meet up in person again?
No.
Oh, okay. So just
Yeah, that was yeah.
Okay, okay. And then any other dates recently get to second or third dates?
No.
How do you feel like you're doing at making these dates feel romantic?
That is a most recent thing I've been working on. I mean, I was recently informed that you should lead by by telling a girl that he looks great. I mean, frankly, it's been I think that historically I've been not very comfortable expressing that kind of thing. So that's been something I've needed to, learn as well, I think.
Got like how to give a compliment.
Yeah.
Why don't we practice right now? Let's do a little role play.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Notice
Let's say
anything?
you show up to a date with Tatiana. How might you greet her in a way that follows that guideline?
Wow, I love this restaurant, Stephen. Thanks for bringing me here.
Yeah. I love how what do I say? I love how the outfit like kind of melds together, the top and the pants, whatnot.
The monochromatic.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really like browns, so I liked putting all the browns together. Thank you for noticing. I feel like guys never notice fashion stuff, so you must be into fashion.
I'm not actually. I'm terrible at fashion.
I think you have a great outfit.
Yeah, I
Everybody's-
think you have a great outfit on too. This is a good first date outfit.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so that was pretty good. She helped you out there. I think, something you want to think about when you're giving a compliment, it's okay. It doesn't have to be the first thing you say to her. It's okay to like take a minute to like take it in, look at her, and then you want to be as specific as possible. So she helped you out with the monochromatic and the brown, but like those are words like you could have used even if you didn't have monochromatic in your vocabulary to like describe the color scheme. Like I love the brown. Like you look amazing in brown, or like that's really your color. Being a little more specific than just like your outfit looks good on you. Like what looks good about it? Like the more specific and more genuine you can be, the more she's going to appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, like my eyes are also brown.
Yeah.
So you could have been like, wow, it really brings out the brown in your eyes. And I'd be like, oh, you noticed.
Yeah, I love like the tying in the eye color with like.
I love complimenting people's eyes. It's such a personal, it can be very vulnerable, but people
Yeah.
really like, I don't know, like you have beautiful brown. Ooh, are they blue or green?
Blue.
Blue,
Yeah, you have beautiful eyes. You have a great head of hair too.
It's true. Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to go bald.
It looks very thick.
I'm already graying though. See?
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with gray. A little salt and pepper, silver fox.
We like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like a little experience.
Yeah. No, the gray is nothing to complain about. Yeah. Do you have you always been stylish? Have you always put thought into your wardrobe, or is this a new thing?
It's a very new, definitely.
Okay.
Actually, it's funny. I ran like a few pictures, or like chat GPT and Acid who make me a shopping list. And
Oh, okay.
It did, and that's how I got this.
Wow, that actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it
What
works.
was the picture that you sent it?
It was something off of Pinterest, I think.
Oh, cool. Oh, I love Pinterest.
Oh, so you like found outfits you liked and were like, make me some outfits that.
Yeah.
Got it. That's a good way to use it. I do feel like I do believe that looks are for a woman. Women care a lot less about men's appearances than men care about a woman's appearances. But still, your first appearance does matter. Your first, how you portray yourself, how you carry yourself, what you're wearing. That's going to tell her a lot about you. How do you feel like women feel about you right now?
That's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
I think you look really good. I mean, we were just like showering you with compliments over your hair and your eyes.
Yeah.
But I get this sense, and like where I was kind of heading towards there is like, I get this sense that that might not be how you actually feel about yourself. Like that you don't necessarily show up to the date feeling like the most confident guy, or feeling like you are attractive or sexy, or like that she's going to be into you. Would you say that's accurate? Like, do you play it safe?
Yeah, frankly, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something like to be said there about like you really owning who you are and getting really confident and comfortable with like who that is. and what you bring to the table and that you are attractive. You're tall too. How tall are you?
5'10".
Okay, yeah, you're tall enough.
Just made it, buddy. No, I'm kidding. No, 5'10" is great. We don't have to go tippy toes to kiss. I love that. I was gonna ask that too. Like, how do you view yourself? Because that's gonna be the number one like indicator of like how people feel about you. Something I had to do to work on my relationship with myself is, it's embarrassing, but the mirror affirmations thing, it's embarrassing. But I tell all my friends when they're going through it, I'm like, you gotta start talking to yourself in the mirror. Like in
So
the
true.
movies, it really works. And it's like, and you know you need it when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I can't look in the mirror. It's like, well, why can't I face myself? Do I not like myself? And so I think that's like a great place to start, is building your relationship with yourself and your own image in the mirror. And then once you come to like that guy in the mirror, everything else comes into place. People are magnetized towards people that like themselves.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. And when you meet somebody, the only way they know how to interpret you is how you feel about yourself. Like they're picking up on that. And like, especially women, we are astute readers of nonverbal signals. So if you don't feel good about yourself, if you're not confident, if you don't feel like you deserve to be there, that she's out of your league, then like she is. Because like she's going to pick up on that. But if you truly believe that you're the man and like these things that, about you don't hold you back, and like everything you bring to the table makes you worthy, like she's gonna see that too. It doesn't mean every relationship's gonna work out. It doesn't mean every date's gonna go someplace. But until you have that foundation, it'll be really hard to get second and third dates.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Are you gonna do the mirror self-talk?
I plead the fifth.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't come crying to me when... No, I'm kidding. I can't even get my friends to do it. I can barely get myself to do it, but I will say it's a big game changer, I think.
Yeah.
If I think of other things maybe that don't involve the mirror, I'll let you know. Oh, like write, even in a journal, like writing down things you like about yourself, or like a gratitude journal, things you're grateful
Yeah.
for. I don't know.
I'm really big into manifesting too, like writing down, like, I'm going to show up at the date being my most confident self. I'm going to make strong eye contact. I'm going to speak clearly. I'm going to have, talk tracks around. When I say talk tracks, it's like, there are certain things that are going to come up on every first, second, or third date. Like for everyone, everyone's going to talk about where they live, like why they moved there, what they do for work. But then you're also going to have talk tracks that are specific to you. Like for you, your stutter, what it's taught you, your country swing, like those are things you're definitely going to talk about. So make sure that you have crisp explanations that are clear, concise, and confident about those things. I truly, truly believe, like, I think if you have been going into dates, not addressing the stutter and not being confident, then like we know why they haven't necessarily been translating. But if you can tackle those two things, if all of the other stuff is in place and the values are aligned and you're compatible, like you're going to do great.
Yeah. Do you have a best friend?
I have a few people that like I would like think of as like being my inner circle. Means
I feel like guys are weird about saying they have a best friend.
Yeah, but, like not like one specific best friend. I don't think.
Okay, but you have a clique that you hang out with.
Yeah, basically.
Do you guys go out together?
Sometimes.
Because I was gonna say, like we're talking about romance on a date, and I feel like another form of another way to say romance is like intimacy. And when you haven't had a lot of romantic relationships, another way to practice intimacy is in your friendships. Obviously, it's not romantic intimacy, but even like with a friend that you consider maybe your best friend or close to your best friend, learning how to like be like, man, it's so good to see you. Like every time I see you, I just feel so good. Like it's really, and like that's.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. The Stanley Cup is down. That's really vulnerable, and like practicing that vulnerability with people you trust makes you better at it in other relationships as well. And I know my friends get uncomfortable with it sometimes too. I love to give toasts at birthdays. My friends hate it because they get so uncomfortable. I love to raise a glass and be like, Rachel, like, your smile lights up the room. You make everyone feel better when you're around. Like, I'm so glad you're here. And it's like, it's a little uncomfortable, but like, it's the best. So I think that's like one way to practice.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense.
Totally. And with the talk tracks, like, yeah, practice them on your friends too. Practice like giving the compliments on your friends. Like all of the advice that we're giving, don't reserve it just for like waiting until you're on a date to practice it for the first time. It's like give your friends compliments. Work on giving them specific compliments. Work on like explaining who you are and talking about the things that are important to you. So that way when you get to the date, you have some reps under your belt. You're not trying it out for the first time.
Yeah, and it's not this like business interaction. I have to show up and give the best presentation and get the best outcome, and it's a zero-sum game. It's like get comfortable on the spectrum of like human connection and just connecting with other people without even worrying about the outcome. I think people are all like struggling with that right now across the board.
Totally.
I've noticed.
Totally. Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you find it hard to date in DC, like as a political climate? Because you said you work for a Republican magazine.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, honestly, not really. In that, like, it's pretty, like, I mean, it's pretty insular. In that, like, the people on, I mean, like on our side, like, people usually are like, like networking. Among themselves, and you don't really interact with like the a broader populace, I guess. So, I mean, that is one thing I've not been all that challenged by, in my view.
That's interesting because there was just an article. Was it in Vogue? I don't know. I was on. Was it in Vogue about? Do you know what I'm talking about? There was an article about how like dating in DC is like really hard, specifically like for people who are Republican because like it's like 90%, 95% liberal, and like a lot of liberals are like I would never date a Republican. So.
I mean, here's the thing, right? If you work in politics, you are weird. Like, you are a very strange person. You have a very strange sort of social circle. And I think that makes it a bit, different than, like, the broader populace. I do think that is, like, a problem for a lot of people. But, like, specifically for people that work in politics, I think it's less so anyway.
Would you date somebody who had different political alignment than you?
Oh, within reason, yeah.
Okay, so if you can like agree to disagree, then that's...
Yeah, that's basically the standard, I would say, anyway.
Okay, that's...
What are your political values?
Oh, well, I'm like a pretty normal-ish Republican, I would say. Like, I don't like the Andrew Tate or Nick Fuentes stuff. I don't like those guys, but like I'm a pretty normalish a Republican, I'd say. So,
at what age did you come to those views?
I don't know, like 18, I guess.
Okay.
Is your family like are you politically aligned with your family?
Yeah.
Okay, so like you grew up with that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So basically, when you could vote.
Yeah, more or less.
Are the women that you've been on dates with, do you know what their political stance was, or it didn't?
Mostly, mostly they're like, mostly they're further out there than I am.
Like further Republican?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting. So you're kind of like targeting like, because it seems like there's just like not that many Republicans in DC, so you must be targeting them somehow. I guess if you're meeting at networking events.
Yeah, like it's the social networks you travel in.
So any young Republican women out there who want to be flipped around, get in touch with Steve.
Oh, stop it.
Have you been on any interesting dates? Do you have any like crazy dating stories? I have a couple notes here and that I was tipped off to about like interesting things that might have happened.
Let's hear it.
Where should I start? So I met as like one woman at like this networking thing, and I was kind of interested. I asked her because like in our one conversation, he mentioned that he liked karaoke, and so I was like,
How
hey,
do you
we
do at
should,
karaoke? How do you do at karaoke?
Well, actually, I'm fine because the part of the brain that you use for speaking and the part that you use for singing is like totally different. So I can
Oh,
sing
wow.
normally.
That's so interesting.
So you just like crush karaoke? You should do all your first dates at karaoke.
Just sing to the girls the whole date.
So I had proposed that, and she was like, oh well, I'll be away that weekend, and it was not the first thing that she'd like turned down. So I was kind of like, well, all right, she's probably not interested, so I'll just let that one go. And then so I proposed that for a Sunday, and so at like 4 p.m. on Sunday, like I just get this random text from her saying that she's back in town, and I'm like, oh crap. So I like called up a female friend of mine, and we're like strategizing over the phone as to like what I should text this person. And she like started sending me like pictures of like her outfit and whatnot. And
The date girl.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it was like, it was like it wasn't
Like a
anything.
sexy outfit?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't like inappropriate, but like it was like
Flirty.
yeah, I mean it's like not stuff that I think that most that most women would send men that they're not into.
Yeah.
And so I think that I was very reasonably under the view that that basically as long as I showed up and didn't talk her out of it, like it'd be good.
It was a go.
So about 2 hours before we meet, she asks if she can bring a friend. And I'm like, well, I can't really say no. So instead, I'll respond, only if I can bring one. And, she said yes. And so I called up one of my friends and I was like, hey man, I need a favor, and you're absolutely going to hate it, but he came through for me. And so when she shows up, her friend is this like very tall man, and it's like
She brings a dude to the date.
Yeah, and so it's like
Ooh.
it's always like, well, okay, that's
A
a bit.
straight man?
I'll get there. I'll get there. And so it's like, well, all right. I mean, maybe it's like her, gay bestie or something. And we walk in and we sit down, and at one point, like about 10 minutes in, they like start kissing, and so it's like, oh, okay.
You were the gay bestie.
Apparently so. Apparently
Or are
so.
they poly or something?
Yeah, were they
Republicans do
trying to
that?
like loop you in?
No.
Okay.
No.
She was sending you outfit pics, like being like, should I wear this?
Yeah.
Oh, like in a
yeah,
gay
and
guy way.
Yeah, and so like,
You do have good style shoes. See, what are your style advice?
And the thing about it that was the funniest is that me and my friend left after that. Obviously,
Were you like,
yeah,
what's happening?
Yeah, that was weird. So like we left, and then later that night, she starts texting me all these Instagram reels, and she asked me, hey, what did you think about the guy I was with? I wasn't quite sure about him. And it's like, you seemed pretty sure about him,
Whoa. Okay, I think you dodged a bullet with that one.
Yeah,
that seems like
probably.
she has like poor judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least she's not
Not a stable character.
reading the room correctly. What did you say to her?
Nothing.
Did you say it seems like you were pretty sure about him? Because that's like a good comeback.
I don't know. I said nothing.
Okay.
I mean, like,
I'm
I
also
mean, like
a
at that
fan
point,
of
I
that
mean,
approach.
it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
I mean, like,
don't give that person
yeah.
your
I mean, like,
attention.
it's not like, it's like, what on earth? I mean, what on earth could I possibly say in that circumstance?
Okay, so maybe a learning here though is to be more clear if you ask a woman to hang out. It's like, I would love to take you out. I would love to
Yes.
take you to karaoke. I think just using like the take you establishes it more as a date versus like a friend hang.
Yes, and the thing is that every friend that every friend that I showed that conversation afterwards thought that like my view of it was like what they would have thought.
Okay. It
So-
wasn't like you were just totally like
Yeah.
reading the
In
room wrong.
in that specific instance, I think it was just bad luck.
Yeah, wrong person.
Yes.
Wrong person. Okay. Any other wild dating stories or mishaps you've had recently?
It's interesting, right? Because something like that, where it's like someone that I'm interested in has like made out with like some other guy in front of me. And last year, that's happened about 4 times.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So at a certain
This is
point,
a reoccurring theme that you feel like
Yes.
women that you are romantically inclined towards end up making out with somebody else in front of you.
so I thought for a while that's a. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the universe, just doesn't like me. But my friend, she sat me down and said, Stephen, you have a type, and I'm like, and what's that? I mean, and what she, said was, it's it's women who are very into male attention and like using that, and you think that you can be the one who wins them over, and you feel sad when you can't. And when she told me that, it's like, man, okay. And I mean, listen, it's not that like I don't like those women, obviously I do. But I think something that I've learned is that what they're looking for is not this. So I need to look elsewhere, I think.
They're looking for more like the bad boy type, someone who's gonna like be more exciting, hot and cold with them maybe.
Yeah, and that's just not me, ultimately.
Yeah. I think that sounds like good advice. I would agree that if like this has happened 4 times, that's a pattern. And
Yes.
it probably has something to do with the type of woman that you're interested in. Because I wouldn't say that's like normal behavior. Like especially, and I don't want to discredit like your part in it. Like maybe you can do more to show up as the romantic suitor.
Yes.
And to show up with confidence and show up not being scared to ask for what you want and confidently take her on a date and take the lead and give her a compliment and go for a kiss. I can assume if you're not comfortable giving compliments, you're probably not going for the kiss either at the end of the date. So if you can start doing those things and positioning yourself more as a romantic prospect to the right women who aren't just seeking like attention, then you're going to be in a better spot. And I think dance is a great place to meet more of these women. Networking events clearly have worked in your favor before.
Yeah, I think so. Sounds like you stood up for yourself, like they did something messed up and you knew your boundary and you didn't take it. You walked away, and some people can't even do that. So it's good to show someone that, you respect yourself and you expect respect from them, and all you can do is walk away and
On to the next one.
Yeah.
One of like the keys with dating is, we were talking before, I was like, you have to keep doing it. You have to keep going on dates, and you have to know when to cut your losses on like an investment. I think some people get way too, well, we've been talking for like so long, or like, I just think I can convince her because like we had a really great first date, even though the second 2 haven't been that nice. It's like, no, as soon as you realize someone isn't matching your energy and matching your attention, that's signal that it's probably not the person and direct your attention and your efforts elsewhere.
Yeah, I've found that I fall into that perhaps more than I should. I mean, I think something that I need to work on is I get attached, I think, a bit too quickly, and I think that I need to have, stronger boundaries, I think.
Yeah, and I think though if you're meeting more women, if you're going on more dates, if you're putting yourself out there more, you're going to be less likely to get attached so quickly because like, oh, okay, like if it doesn't work out with her, there's like another woman around the corner and like I can meet somebody else, as opposed to being, oh, I need to make it work with this one specific woman because like she's given me a shot. Like if you go in with that attitude, like it very rarely goes anyplace.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, myself and people I know, like, especially when you're younger, it's like you go for these people that aren't as interested in you because it's like a way to validate yourself. And I think as you mature and come to love yourself, you stop going for that type and you start to be attracted to people that like you. And it's such a breakthrough when you start to be like, oh, I like this person because they like me and they're being nice to me.
And them not liking you is a disqualifier where it's like, okay, if this person doesn't appreciate me and doesn't like me, then like, I don't want to be with them anyway.
Yeah.
Spot on. Well, Stephan, thank you so much for coming and being open and vulnerable. I think it's very inspiring. There's a lot of people out there dating who have something, whether it's a speech related or something physical that they feel that they worry could hold them back. And I think you've done a great job showing that like that doesn't have to hold you back. And in fact, as Tatiana said, it can be your superpower. And Tatiana, thank you for your great advice. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Yes, add me on Instagram, TATIANA FRANK, NYC. I'm a touring comedian coming to your city. Come see me live. Check out my show on YouTube, Thought Daughter, or TATIANA FRANK on YouTube. And thanks for having me, Blaine. This is awesome. It was so nice to meet you, Stephan.
Hi, you too. You too.
We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you.